Hello, I'm Karen Barno and welcome to our member update. I know it's been a while since I've done this, but we have so much stuff going on right now. I figured this is a great time to jump on, say hello. If you have any questions, please email me, text me, direct message me. Let me know what your questions are and we'll get them answered as soon as possible. This is being taped on March 18th, 2021. As you know, the new guidelines, COVID-19 guidelines came out, but first of all, the most important thing is for the levels of moderate or substantial, at this point on March 18th, Pima, Apache, Cochise, Yavapai, Yuma, and Santa Cruz are in moderate spread. And substantial spread are the rest unnamed, which would be Maricopa, Mojave, Gila, Graham, Coconino, Greenlee, and Navajo are in substantial spread. So again, for moderate spread, it's Pima, Apache, Cochise, Yavapai, Yuma, and Santa Cruz. So when you go into the COVID guidelines, to just kind of flick to the quick thing first is you want to go to page 4 to the handy dandy graph. The only thing that really changes on this graph between minimal, moderate, and substantial is if you're in substantial spread, which again were the counties I mentioned, and your residents, you have an unvaccinated rate of 70% or less, then you are not allowed to have indoor visits. Otherwise, regardless of where we are for community spread, you can have indoor visits at all times if your residents are 70% and above, which doesn't make sense. You can't be 70 and below and 70 and above. So we'll say 71 and above, you're allowed to do it. No tests are required to let families in, but it is encouraged if you're in moderate substantial spread. So it's up to the decision of the community. If you want to test family members coming in, it's certainly your right. For indoor visitations, if residents are unvaccinated less than 70%, you can do it except in substantial. Outdoor visits, no testing required. Visits for compassionate care, no testing required. Off-site or community visitation. If you're in substantial spread, you are not allowed to go off-site. So Maricopa County and the other states I named off really quick, your Maricopa, Pinal, Mojave, Gila, Graham, Coconino, Greenlee, and Navajo are not allowed to have outside, off-site community visits as of this week, between now and March 24th. Symptom screening must still be done. Face coverings must be done. You are not allowed to wear, I think they call them goiter, the things you pull up over your face. And it was asked about the face shields. The caveat in the guideline says it must be a well-fitting mask. So you do have to have the mask. You can wear the face shield if you so choose on top of the mask, but you still must wear a mask. Physical distancing, everything must still be physically distanced. Communal space is open. You're allowed to have activities, dining room, all that good stuff is allowed to be open. Off-site medical appointments are now still allowed to be done through regardless of the spread. So off-site community visitation are things that are non-medical. Walmart, Fry's, all that stuff is considered. They're not if you're in substantial spread. And that kind of cuts to the chase. Some of the other caveat, when you get to page 8, it talks about setting policies. You're allowed to set policies on number of visits, who you're allowed in, number per day. They do strongly encourage you to allow visitation on the weekend, at least one day a week, one day a weekend. I know a lot of you guys don't work over the weekend, so they still want to allow family members that are unable to come during the week to be able to come during the weekend. Federal and state surveyors do not need to be vaccinated and must be permitted entry regardless of the vaccination status, as long as they don't have signs and symptoms. Ombudsman, same, they don't need to be vaccinated, but they're allowed in as long as they don't have signs and symptoms. If a resident is fully vaccinated, so switching gears a little bit here, if a resident is fully vaccinated, they can choose to have close contact with their families. Visitors must always have masks on, must always practice hand hygiene. The visitors should be physically distanced from other residents and staff. So you still don't really want to encourage visitors to attend meal events or activities unless them and their loved ones can sit at a different table, socially distanced from everything. You must encourage privacy. Have visitation policies for residents that are on bed restriction and unable to attend outdoor events. You must have visitation policies for them. Same with if they have a roommate. I'm sorry, skipping over here, just trying to, I just want to hit the highlights. It's a very long document. It's very intense, but I think it's very well done. There's not a lot of contradiction on there. When an outbreak occurs, outbreak testing should be conducted and all indoor visitation should be suspended, except for you can never suspend compassionate care or visits by people under the federal disability right law, ombudsman, or state surveyors. So again, if you have an outbreak, indoor visits are supposed to halt except for compassionate visits, compassionate care, state surveyor, ombudsman, and people that fall under the federal disabilities right law. And you must have an evidence that the outbreak is contained to one area. Then they talk about testing, who's allowed to go in without a testing. And I always like the therapy dogs can come in without testing. On page 14 is where they discuss mask. And you're not allowed to wear bandanas or the goiter mask. It has to be a mask. And then they just answer questions. If you have any questions, let me know. At this moment in time, we're open for business. Just keep in mind for those counties that are in substantial spread, you still cannot have, you think I'd remember this, you still cannot have indoor visitations if less than 70% of your residents are vaccinated. So to make this easy, if 71% of your residents or more are vaccinated, regardless of spread, you're open for business. If you have an outbreak in your community, indoor visits must stop and nobody can go out. Everybody has to stay within again. So I hope this helped you guys. Also, don't forget on April 2nd, on-the-job training takes place. We're allowed to start doing on-the-job training for our caregivers. That's also our April 2nd. I know that's the furthest thing from everybody's mind right now because of everything taking place. We're also having a lot of bills in the legislature. We're trying to be back, and we'll do another video on Senate Bill 1373 to encourage all you guys to reach out to your representatives. But I want this one to be about the COVID-19 guidelines. Make sure you're using the one dated revised 3/16, because there's 3 or 4 kicking around. The revised 3/16/21 is the one that's in effect right now. If you guys have any questions, please call me, shoot me an email, whatever. And don't worry, day or night, weekends, get your questions asked. So everybody is on the same page. Our residents are happy, our families are happy, and thank goodness we're finally open for business. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.